With the release of the AirPods 3, there are certainly many AirPod options now to choose from. And in this video, I'll be comparing the two main and best AirPod options, which are the newly released AirPods 3 versus the AirPods Pro. Hello guys, and welcome back to TechUp. In this video, I'll help you decide which pair of AirPods is for you. With the new released AirPods 3 being part of the lineup, I'll go over the price, the design, as well as all the features that both offer, and talk about the battery and charging cases of each. I'll also try out a few sound and ear fit tests between them, and have you decide which one you should buy by the end of the video. So, without further ado, let's get into this hands-on comparison, and feel free to skip ahead down below. When looking at both the AirPods 3 and the AirPods Pro, right out of the box, both of the cases seem to look almost identical.
My name is Julius, and I'm your twin brother.
Well, except for the price tag and several different features which I'll cover. But the AirPods 3 come in at $179 a pair, while the AirPods Pro retail for $249 at the time of this video. But aside from that, when looking at the charging cases, the Gen 3s and Pros look very similar. However, when taking a closer look, the AirPods 3 case is a bit smaller than the Pros, since the Pros charging case is a bit more wider in size. But the big difference between them can be noticed right away when you flip open the lid of the cases and see the different designs of the earbuds. When looking at the AirPods 3, the stems have a very similar look to the AirPods Pro, but what stands out on the 3s is that the head of the earbuds have a different look, since they don't have customizable silicone ear tips like the AirPods Pro do, with various size options for your ears. Instead, they are designed with a universal fit, which can be something that someone may or may not prefer when it comes to comfort and fit, and that's something I'll cover later on. However, before getting into the big differences, let's talk about the similarities that both the AirPods have to offer with their features. First, both of them include the H1 chip at no surprise. They also feature adaptive EQ and spatial audio, which has been recently added to the AirPods 3, but it's already been on the AirPods Pro. With adaptive EQ, it adjusts the sound according to the user's fit, and spatial audio offers the user 3D sound in some music and movies. But the features that haven't been added to the AirPods 3 are ANC support and transparency mode that are featured on the AirPods Pro. With ANC, it gives the user the ability to cancel external noise or sounds within their own environment. Well, more like slightly removing sound with the active noise cancellation feature. And with the transparency mode, it gives the user the ability to still hear sounds in their environment when they're wearing the AirPods Pro. Furthermore, both of these are sweat and water resistant. However, unlike the AirPods Pro, the AirPods 3 contain a new skin detect sensor that can discern if the AirPods are or aren't in the ear. This sensor contains 4 shortwave infrared LED chips and 2 photodiodes, which can detect wearer's skin from other surfaces. And it's great to have this technology for those situations where you can put down one AirPod on a surface and not worry about the sensor still detecting that it's in the ear. With the AirPods Pro, I've had many situations where I pull one AirPod out of my ear and put it in my pocket without putting it back in the case, and the sensor still thinks it's in my ear and doesn't pause the audio I'm listening to on my phone, which can be slightly frustrating. Anyways, more on that later when I test out both the AirPods out. But another big difference between these two AirPods is that the AirPods Pro offer Conversation Boost, which is a new feature part of the recent update to the AirPods Pro at the beginning of October, that gives the user the ability to increase the volume of someone they're talking to in a noisy environment. If you're talking to someone and want to hear them better or more clearly in a face-to-face conversation, then the Conversation Boost feature helps as a hearing aid to listen to someone better. And that's not something that's on AirPods 3, and it's been left out. Now, one of the last features that's been added to the AirPods 3, which aren't on the AirPods 2 but have been on the AirPods Pro, is the force sensor on the stem of the earbuds. With the force sensor, you can pause and play audio with a single press or double press and triple press for other control options. On top of that, you can hold down on the stem to access Siri and answer phone calls. As for the battery and charging cases, there's a big difference between the AirPods 3 and the AirPods Pro in terms of battery life. The AirPods 3 earbuds have a battery life of up to 6 hours of listening after a full charge, while the AirPods Pro have a battery life of up to 4.5 hours. As for the AirPods 3 charging case, it offers up to 30 hours of listening time, while the Pro's charging case offers up to 24 hours. Considering there's a difference in the battery life for not only the AirPods but their charging cases, it's obvious to say that the clear winner for battery life are the AirPods 3, even with ANC and transparency mode on the Pros not being used. On top of that, the AirPods 3 have added Magsafe to the case, so now the charging case can magnetically attach to any Magsafe charger. If you purchased a pair of AirPods Pro when they were released back in 2019, you won't have this feature as Magsafe wasn't included back then, but the new AirPod Pros, after the news of the AirPods 3, do include a charging case with Magsafe. Alright, enough with the side-by-side similarities between these two AirPods. Let's go ahead and test out the sound and fit, as well as some other tests between these two. When going ahead and testing out both of the AirPods, the sound quality is the same, and I didn't seem to notice a difference between them when having transparency and ANC turned off on the AirPods Pro. However, with ANC turned on, the AirPods Pro white noise does a good job of making the Pro sealed off better from the outside, thanks to it tuning any noise out. But that's not a big issue when you have a quiet environment for both of these earbuds. For some of you, you'll decide that you prefer to tune the noise out since it's bothersome, and that's why the Pros would be great, but if you don't mind to deal with outside noise, the 3s are still a perfect choice. Cause in the end, the sound quality on both of these is identical to me, not gonna lie. Now, when testing out the fit between these, I really like the universal fit of the AirPods 3 since I've always enjoyed the fit of them dating back to its original design. I personally never felt uncomfortable for short or long periods of time when wearing them, and they always seemed to stay in my ears unlike the Pros. With the silicone ear tips on the Pros, even with Apple's help of detecting which size ear tip I would need prior to wearing them, it hasn't helped me from always having instances of them eventually falling out from time to time. But to tell you the truth, the fit all comes down to personal preference. As for my last test, I wanted to really see how the skin detect sensor worked on the AirPods 3 and how effective it truly is when the earbud sensor is placed flat down on a surface or covered by some sort of material or even placed in a pocket. Apple has mentioned that the tech behind these earbuds can detect the wearer's skin, and as much as I wanted to believe this technology is true, I initially thought that it's a bunch of BS. But when pulling these AirPods out of my ears and covering them up with various materials to see if these AirPods would falsely detect a material as my ear, I have to say I was really amazed with how much better they can discern a pocket or clothing from my ears or my skin compared to the AirPods Pro. With them, I was able to place the earbuds in my pocket and the music didn't start playing, while on the Pros that was not the case most of the time. With the Pros, I've had instances where I placed them in my pocket, and most of the time the sensor would think the AirPod was in my ear and started playing audio. Well, I don't know about you, but that's annoying, and the smart thing to do is, hey, put them back in the case or keep them in your ears and pause the audio on your phone. But in some situations, we may not think about it, and like me, I sometimes place them in my pocket and kind of don't like when they go off. So if you're like me and don't want to deal with that problem, the AirPods 3 actually don't make it happen as much as the Pros make it happen, thanks to this new skin detect sensor. So that's a plus. Anyways, in the end, after going over both of these AirPods, there are many noticeable differences, but they do have a lot of similarities as well that can make it fairly a close decision when buying a pair of AirPods. The AirPods 3 have everything besides active noise cancellation and transparency mode, along with a nice little feature like conversation boost. But where the AirPods 3 excel over the AirPods Pro is the new skin detect sensor. It certainly was obvious when I tested it, and it does a great job of detecting the surfaces better than the AirPods Pro. And we can't forget the more improved battery life on the AirPods 3 over the Pros. Besides that, the sound they produce is the same, but it can be a decision that can come down to liking the silicone ear tips on the Pros or the universal fit on the AirPods 3. Anyways, let me know which pair is better or which one you're planning on getting in the comments below, and like always, smash that like button or subscribe button if you haven't already for more hands-on comparisons like this one, and I'll see ya in the next one.